Welcome to the 7-Time Studio here at Midwest Motorsports. This is Mike Harris Jr. We're here at the 2008 Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Midwest Motorsports Stock Car Series. Driver of the number 40 Toyota Tundra in the Friday Night Truck Series. I made sure to say Stock Car Series, right? Well, anyway, these guys will be racing around the Speedway for 134 laps around the old Atlanta racetrack. So each driver currently has an additional 3 sets of tires on pit lane ready to roll when we are actually ready to roll here on the Speedway. A little bit of delay here in the action. Skycam. So we're still gridding up right now. We're getting ready to grid up right now. Here's your starting lineup for the race. Starting from the pole positions, Dustin Reinstedel. And Eric Thaler will take second place behind him. Trevor Mack making his return to the Oval Series. He's going to be in third place. Norm Snyder in fourth, the number 28. Jason Huffman fifth. Sixth will be Aaron Holroyd. Seventh is James Leveson. Robert Leveson is on the outside in eighth place. And Ron Schomer marks out the end of our field here. So these guys get ready to take on off here. Dustin Reinstedel has won 2 of the first 3 races this season. It's been the current tail of the tape. Ant Castor went ahead and took the second race of the season at Rockingham Speedway. It was a fuel pit strategy race, with Dustin taking Phoenix and Pocono. Oh, we got this camera back. Dustin Reinstedel driving the Putt View number 11 Chevrolet. Eric Thaler on his outside. Different number scheme than I'm used to here on the Midwest Motorsports Ford Mustang. Trevor McLaughlin going simple and unsponsored here in the Toyota Supra. Norm Snyder on the outside in the number 28 Haviland Ford. Jason Huffman back to John Deere on his Ford Manscaped Chevrolet. For Aaron Holroyd, James Leveson, Mountain Dew Baja Blast, Robert Leveson with the Busch Ford, and Ron Schomer with the Sunoco Toyota Supra. And let us get back here to this camera as we go to green flag racing underway here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for 134 laps. They go and out of turn 2 here. Eric Thaler having the high line here, which might actually be a successful line early on in the run. It's definitely the way Dustin set this pole position here at 30.7 seconds. Eric Thaler coming out to a pretty decent lead here. Trevor McLaughlin in third place now, 0.3 of a second back as we've gone and completed 1 lap. Jason Huffman, Norm Snyder still side by side as they're going through turns 1 and 2. Field has now fanned out here, single file action. Jason Huffman now going on the inside of Trevor McLaughlin here in turn 3 and 4. Aaron Holroyd getting ready to make the move here, looking for a spot to make the move on Norm Snyder to take away 5th place. Eric continuing to use the high line there. Dustin Reinstedel using the low line. Friday night action here. We were at Milwaukee with the Truck Series on Friday night. Eric Thaler dominated the last season's Truck Series race. Led pretty much the entire way through, and Dustin Reinstedel had 3 laps in that one. This past Friday, Dustin Reinstedel led almost all the laps, 136 of 150. As he's now making a pass on the inside of Eric Thaler. Side by side they go. Thaler's outside line, not able to hold on that inside line push there. The Putt View Chevrolet making its move to the front. As he reeled Eric in. Eric's going to go on the inside here, turn 3 and 4. And off they go. Aaron Holroyd now making that move on Norm Snyder through the front straightaway here. And he's going to make that pass into turn 1 and sail away to chase after Trevor McLaughlin. Ron Schommer way in the back there in his Sunoco Toyota. One of only 2 Toyotas in the field. Jason Huffman going to make the move onto the inside of Eric Thaler here on turn 3 and 4. Still side by side through the doglegs in the front stretch. Quad oval here. And he's going to make that pass. Clears them here as they get onto the back straightaway. Got a couple groups of 2 here. Further back in, the Olevesons are Norm Snyder's battling with James Oleveson here. As they're working on turn 3 and 4. There's our battle box right there. As Trevor McLaughlin and Aaron Holroyd are side by side going into turn 1 and 2. Aaron trying to see if that outside line will make it. Doesn't do it. Norm Snyder now falling behind James Oleveson, who's making that pass. Robert Oleveson coming into the screen here, making his move. As we go look up further ahead, Eric Thaler's dropped quite a bit. Now Trevor McLaughlin has caught up to him. Aaron Holroyd is there with him as well. He's going to make the move here on the turn 1 and 2. He's going to make that inside pass. Will he clear? Oh, not quite. Eric will have the run here on the back straightaway. So the outside line's pretty favorable for Aaron Holroyd. Going to have some advantage there. They're going to be side by side. Jason Huffman battling Dustin Reinstedel here for the lead too. Action all around the speedway here. Pretty much everybody real close, within half a second of each other. The only big gap is between James Oleveson and Aaron Holroyd. This battle for third, Trevor McLaughlin will now clear Eric Thaler. And now Aaron Holroyd is going to make a move on the inside of the Godfather. Jason kind of funneled right on in there, is sitting in Dustin's draft, seeing if he can find any kind of little advantage here or there that he might be able to use to make a good run at that first position there. James hoping to see if he can catch back up. He gained just a little bit. He was at 1.08 seconds. Now he's within 1 second of the group ahead. Trevor McLaughlin is now 3/4 of a second behind Jason Huffman and Dustin Reinstedel for the lead. Continue on here with this coverage. 10 laps down, Jason Huffman trying to see if he can make something go on the inside of those dog legs. May have picked up just maybe a small fraction of a second. Unable to capitalize on anything as he stays on the complete low side there. At Atlanta, you really want to use all of the racetrack if you can. That's where you're going to get the most speed out of it. Yes, you do want to kind of keep it down low for most of the corner there, but it just kind of takes away your sails if you spend the entire time down there. Jason back to doing the dog leg. He's going to be higher up there in about the third lane, and he's going to fall back further and further. Now he's 0.3 of a second behind. James Oleveson now 1.3 seconds behind Aaron Holroyd. He's still in 5th place, but he's starting to fall away from the lead 4 cars. Jason Huffman's dropping a little bit. Trevor McLaughlin, he's also dropping to 0.7 of a second again. Aaron Holroyd now going to catch back up right on his bumper, less than 1/10 of a second behind. He's going to hope that that outside line can give him something. So like I said earlier on at the beginning, before we went green, these guys have 3 extra set of tires sitting in pit road. They should be able to make it the whole way through. We'll find out together as far as the pit cycle goes in this. That was on me. Did not get that information when I got in. But that's okay. That's part of the fun and the beauty of the action, is not always being perfect at this. You guys seem to enjoy it pretty well. As Jason Huffman slowed down enough, Trevor McLaughlin has caught on to him. There's a sizable gap, about 0.5 of a second now between first and second. And 0.2 of a second between these three guys right here. We'll stick right on this action, folks. We are not going anywhere, and neither should you. As these three are battling it out for second place. Dustin loves to see this, though. Definitely enjoying this view. He's not being dogged on, and he's watching everybody burn their tires trying to make any ground. Trevor McLaughlin moves to the high side there. That's blocked off by Jason Huffman, but he will still get the run. Aaron Holroyd waiting in the wings. Trevor's going to go on that second lane just on the outside. He's going to have a nose over there. Side-by-side action. We're on the wrong vehicle here. Trevor McLaughlin does make the pass. Sorry, did not get that on the camera. I didn't realize I was still on Aaron Holroyd there on the camera screen. But he does make the pass around Jason Huffman. Aaron Holroyd's now going to see if he can peek underneath the John Deere Ford. Try if he can steal away third place here. So they're moving up the field. Trevor McLaughlin just put down a 32.686, so still about 0.02 of a second slower. There it is right behind us, Aaron Holroyd. Jason Huffman side by side in turns 1 and 2. Up. Trading paints don't fail us now. Jason Huffman, though, will have a bit of an advantage over Aaron Holroyd. Program just wants to make sure all of these cars are correct in their paint schemes. Eric Taylor's found himself way in the back in 8th place, by the way, after starting out towards the front of the field. He has dropped 6 spots. I'm sure it has something to do with fuel saving, tire saving strategies. Something going on with the strategies. And trading paints being a bit silly again, as we got Aaron Holroyd now trying to make a move here. If you go on the suspension camera, looking right behind. Rear chase angle here as we're still following along with this number 4 Ford John Deere. Aaron Holroyd chasing him down in the Chevy. And he's going to try and make a move again now, this time on Trevor McLaughlin. McLaughlin right there. Holroyd, has to slow down as he was going to nip right into Jason Huffman there in that corner. These guys continuing to battle all out. They are now 1.07 seconds behind Dustin Reinsettle for the lead. Jason Huffman has the fastest lap of the race currently at a 31.194, and he's only found himself now down to 3rd place out of it. Eric Thaler in the pits, not sure what's going on with the godfather of Midwest Motorsports, but we do see this continued battle here. Aaron Holroyd almost had it there in turns 1 and 2. He's going to file right behind and see if he can make the pass here. Both of them are going to stick towards the higher lines, and as the run gets on, these tires start to wear down. Those higher lines are going to be troublesome for these cars. It is rather bumpy here at old Atlanta Motor Speedway. It was definitely a fun track to race on, but those bumps can send cars out of alignment, out of array. Again, Aaron Holroyd on turn 1 and 2 finds his nose underneath. He's going to still have a nose above Jason Huffman now. Side by side through the dog legs. And that's going to be too close to call there in my book. I think Aaron Holroyd still had the spot. And he's definitely going to hold on to it side by side. Just a little tap there. You saw it there first, folks. Can't do that in Formula. F4, F1, F2, those cars would be going into the wall, having a big problem. Jason Huffman got a good run there as tracking down Trevor McLaughlin, who has not really been able to claw his way back up towards Dustin Reinsettle, who's currently running a 32.771 versus a 32.96 of Trevor McLaughlin. Jason Huffman was able to put down a 32.719, so still was able to put down a faster lap time than our leader, for what that's worth. Still, the hottest part of the track right now is between these three drivers as they continue to battle for that second spot. Dustin Reinsettle sailing off in the distance here as we're getting close to about the pit cycle window. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure what that is right now, but I know that these guys will be getting pretty close to it here fairly soon, if not for the tire wear. We'll have to see what the pit strategy is, because I have a good feeling that they're going to have at least one fuel cycle without having to take tires. Now, another thing Ant Castor was able to do at Rockingham Speedway when we had about the same amount of laps was he was able to use fuel strategy by clutching for a long period of time on the racetrack and ended up finding his way to victory lane because of it. Jason Huffman on the inside trying to get that nose underneath Trevor McLaughlin's Toyota Supra. Not able to do it there. Aaron Holroyd gaining some ground on him again. These two battling it out. Aaron did have the spot at one point for about a lap or two, and Jason was able to get it back. I tell you what, it's probably real exciting and fun in that chat right now. Two of those guys talking to each other. Talking about their not Daytona plans, because that's not happening, I don't think, anytime soon for the Oval Series, or at least the Stock Car Series. Hey, here we go again as we go into 1 and 2. These guys still neck and neck. Dustin Reinsettle has sailed off into the distance. 2.2 seconds is now his lead. These guys still providing the action, the entertainment for you guys out in the field. You guys out in the audience. And whoa, squirrely as everyone comes on into pit. Jason Huffman into the wall. Aaron Holroyd barely able to get it righted again. James Olavison will end up in front of those two. And Ron Schamer will stay out on the field. He is currently a lap down. Eric Thaler will get his lap back as Ron Schamer pit on lap 26. Dustin Reinsettle on in. And out. And there goes Trevor McLaughlin as well. Everybody out before Aaron Holroyd, or not Aaron Holroyd, before Jason Huffman. A very unfortunate pit entry for those guys as they just squirreled it on in. Rough going for them. Dustin Reinsettle now half a second over Trevor McLaughlin. Everybody just pitting, getting some fuel. The rest of these stops should pretty much be tires and fuel. I don't think anybody's going to play the 2-tire stop or have any fuel-only stops from this point on. Ron Schamer, who was able to stay out there because he pit early, just 2 laps earlier, lap 26. He is now less than 0.2 of a second behind Jason Huffman. Huffman right into the wall there in 3 and 4. Ron Schamer will go ahead and put his Supra ahead of the John Deere Ford in his chase for Norm Snyder. And now, after all that excitement here, this is your closest action on the track. And since this is our closest action on the track, everyone's kind of spread out even more thanks to that pit cycle. Did not have a caution despite all the spinning and stuff going on in the pit lane. We're in the start. Oh, no, I'm not suggesting there needed to be caution. I mean, you know, it'd be nice if someone from Buffalo Wild Wings happened to hit the button. But at any rate, we're going to go through our field here real quick, talk to you about their sponsors and stuff again. Dustin Reinstedel, currently victor of 2 of our 3 races here. He's been leading for most of the race. I'm going to go right here. He's led 29 laps of the 33. From Pikesville, Kentucky. Sponsored by Puttview, not Puttville. There you go. There's your brand. There's a brand idea for you, Dustin. But Puttview sponsoring his number 11 Chevrolet. As the main sponsor. I know Best Western is on there as well. Next in the running order here is former competitor and current broadcaster of the Friday Night Truck Series, Trevor McLaughlin. So he's in second place. Came to join us here tonight. Don't know how many more Sunday nights he'll be planning to stop by, but it's great to see him. He's currently second place in his unsponsored number 99 Toyota Supra. Had some falling out with Ghost, and I don't know if Hot Wheels was just not impressed with where he went off to afterwards, but he's sponsorless here today. Sure that'll change here. And third place, leading 4 laps, we have Eric Thaler in his Midwest Motorsports Ford Mustang. Number 15 has been big face of this league, the godfather of the racing league. His brother Justin currently running it. Not involved in the Stock Car Series this season. Not sure if we'll see the number 2 back out on the field at any point in time soon, but these are the guys that continue to hold the fort down. Aaron Holroyd is in 4th place despite that debacle on the pit cycle there with James behind him. Aaron Holroyd, sponsored by Manscaped. Take a little ride around with him on the roof cam. We head on back to James Leavison here. He's in 5th place in the number 90 Mountain Dew Baja Blast Chevrolet. He's been having a good year this year. He's been able to put together a lot of good finishes between the Stock Car Series and the Truck Series. Great to see his continued contribution in the league. Ron Schaumer is currently sitting in 6th place in that number 97 Sunoco Toyota Supra. One of the better paint schemes out here. Tennessee Vol fan. Right behind him here, about 0.6 of a second back, we have Norm Snyder. Davey Allison fan, currently 7th place today, driving the Haviland Ford, number 28. In 8th place today, currently running, Robert Leavison in his new Busch Light Peach Ford Mustang. Switched over from the Miller Lite Dusty Machine to the Busch Light Peaches, as he's transitioned that over into the Truck Series as well. Molson Coors trying to set up a different... actually, that's not Molson Coors at all. Haha! Anheuser-Busch decided to take a crack at him. And in the back of the field, once again having some trouble on pit lane, Jason Huffman sitting 9th place. Really hoping for a caution or for something else to happen here. Change his fortunes around. Just unfortunate there on pit cycle, pit entry. So as we're going to go ahead and sit on the flag stand here for just a moment, you get to see at least a little bit about what Barney sees of all this. Everybody really spread out. Just look at that. Just a car going by every so often. Getting to the meat of the race. Love to check out some different camera angles here. There goes Dustin. He's led 37 laps here today. There is his 38th of the day. Lap 42. And, oh, there's a telltale. He's putting that clutch down. Ever want to know what the spotter sees here at Atlanta Motor Speedway? Well, there it is. We follow along with the number 11 Chevrolet from the spotter stand. Dustin Reinsel's spotter just telling him it's all clear, giving him some cues. Trevor McLaughlin 4 seconds back. Put down a 32.895, and Trevor's putting down a 33.552. Eric Thaler putting down a 33.88, 33.188 that last time by. A 4.3 second gap between first and second here as Dustin's running away with it again. He's looking to make it 3 of 4. And Ant Caster's not here, so if Dustin does not win, we'll have a new winner for the winner. Now here we are at the fan cams. This is a little bit about what you might see if you sat in the stands and you were cheering on Ron Schamer. So those of you who've never been to Atlanta Motor Speedway, or as it's now being called, Echo Park Speedway, this is something that you'd be looking forward to see. I might be finding myself down there next year. Don't know yet. The old man and I are making some plans. Georgia is the heart, one of the hearts of Midwest Motorsports, as many racers here have something to do with Georgia, whether they live down there or down there frequently, or they race down there. In the case of Michael Odell, does the Road Series. I believe our own 7-time broadcasters from that general area, and from that state. Georgia boys represent. Ron Schamer currently chasing down James Levison. Let's go ahead and go into a different camera here to watch them side by side on the dog leg as they pass the stripe here. Ron Schamer cracking the top 5. I think the second time today. That's right, during the pit cycle he was able to... Oh, nope, he got his lap back. I'm sorry. His first time today, he's cracked that top 5. Sorry for causing the dizziness here as we continue to go through all the different camera angles that we've been given here in the booth. I can tell you now, James is out there, he's watching, he's saying, Michael, don't use that camera. Don't use that. I already know what camera not to use. I've clicked on it a couple of times. We've got ourselves somebody going on down. There was some smoke going on. Still some smoke going on there. Who was that? It's not Norm Snyder. I think that was Jason Huffman is smoking right here. Not sure what happened. We're going to pause this action here. You're not really missing much. Norm Snyder and Eric Thaler getting closer to their opponents. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at the action. See what happened to Jason. He's really not having a good day. Took the purple lap. It's only a matter of time before Dustin tries to get that. Ooh. So it looks like as he was coming out of turn 4, he smashed into the wall. lost control. That's definitely a 2X. No caution as the number 4 John Deere Ford Mustang was able to pull on off to the side. And yeah, tough break for him. Not sure if that's his, oh, nope. Did not use his fast repair earlier. Sorry for the janky movement there. We have Eric Thaler in the pits. Seems a little bit early. Everybody pit around lap 28. So this might be just, he took his 4 tires there. This might be a play. We'll see what that gets, that number 15 machine. See if that puts him into play at all later on in the race. Dustin Reinstedel now up to a 6.6 second lead. Currently 6 drivers on the lead lap still. And if you look at that battle box down on the bottom right here, you'll see that James Levison in that 6th spot is 10 seconds ahead, so he's still got a little bit of time before we have to worry about a 5-car top or 5-car lead lap field. Dustin is definitely trying to play the pit strategy here as he's clutching into these corners. He's got such a lead here, and it's not even mattering. So Trevor might be doing a similar process. Let's see if we can catch it from the noise here on that Toyota Supra. In fact, why don't we go ahead and do the thing if the camera will let me do it. Come. Okay, this is aggravating stuff right now. Can you let me pick the camera I want? No, you're not going to let me pick. Well, I have the fan cam because this is being bred. Trevor McLaughlin, it doesn't seem like he's clutching, but he is letting off the gas a little bit more going into the corner. I'm really sorry, folks, for whatever reason. This is just being a brat. There's got to be a way I can click between these better. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the program I'm currently using right now, to control the cameras and everything else, there is a fun little text box that has to appear and cover up several different camera options. It thinks it's being helpful. Unlike most other helpful tooltips, it just stays there. So I'm not able to actually click on the camera angle that I want, which actually would be cockpit. But I'm being blocked by a box. It says, I want to do the currently selected camera. Well, since I can't play with that, we'll change up some of these boxes here going on the screen. There's your weather. Bye-bye, battle box for now. So that's the current conditions out on the Speedway. 79 degrees, winds 4 miles an hour, partly cloudy with a little bit of humidity. Let's see what this looks like here. Oh, look at the track map. I don't think that looks good for you, but you can kind of see here in the top right of your screen what we're looking at for car positions, where everybody is. You can see in the bottom here, that's your front straightaway. Trevor McLaughlin is just getting out of turn 2, so there's something for you. Where did that other? There we go. Trevor McLaughlin is in now. Ron Schamer is also in. Pit road, Aaron Holroyd going to join Trevor McLaughlin, which means Dustin Reinstedel has the opportunity to put them down, close to a lap down. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sandbagger is in second place. I'm just kidding, Norm. You do you out there. There are days where you surprise us and you have really fast laps. And then that just doesn't always end up working out. But Norm Snyder here out in second place. If he decides to stay on the track, he has a chance to assume the lead. He won't get a lap. Nope, he's going to come on in pits. Dustin Reinstedel into his pit box to get foreign fuel. Trevor McLaughlin just coming out here. Where is Eric in the midst of all this? Now, Eric Thaler is going to go ahead and assume the lead. He pit on lap 48. We're now on lap 59, so he has 10 lap older equipment, tires, fuel, so he'll have to stop sooner than everybody. That might work out in his favor because I think the last pit stop will have to split the difference. So we'll see what that does. That does give him quite an advantage, but Dustin's going to be on a fresh set of tires at 7.2 seconds back. Aaron Holroyd will pass over Norm Snyder here as Norm comes back out from the pits. But he is 11 seconds back from Trevor McLaughlin, so this field just spreading out even further and further. Norm Snyder has been lapped by Eric Thaler, and we only have 4 cars on the lead lap now. Ron Schamer trying to make a pass here. He's 2 laps down, so this isn't really a pass for position going on behind the leader. Oh, that's unfortunate. So just some news from the team up above, from the producers. They want to let me know that Trevor McLaughlin and both Olavisons actually blew their tires. That is unfortunate. Was it then? Well, that kind of explains it now. Atlanta is a hard track on tires for sure, especially the old variety. Norm Snyder going to go ahead and try and make a pass. Ron Schamer's made his pass as well. So Norm will get back on the lead lap. Still 5.3 seconds. At this point here, Eric, what are you going to do on this strategy here? Definitely have to talk about it later. Goodyear not really doing well. I don't know if... no, we already talked about what happened there with Jason Huffman. He's currently battling with Ron Schamer. Closest battle on our track just ahead. Jason Huffman less than a second back and now dropping from that number 97 Toyota. And we're spreading out again now. James Olavison is starting to close in or get closer to Norm Snyder. We'll try to keep an eye out and make sure that Dustin Reinstedel and Eric Thaler gets featured here, as he's currently on the back bumper of James Olavison here. James making it past. So now 6 cars are on the lead lap. Now let's talk about the track that we're at right now. Atlanta Speedway, one of those racetracks that are named one thing but located somewhere else. Bang! Oh boy! Eric Thaler hitting the wall there out of turn 2. That's not going to help him. 2.3 seconds. Dustin Reinsettle is charging. About a whole second faster than Eric last time by. So Atlanta Motor Speedway, like I was just saying before, one of those speedways, it's called one thing, but it's located somewhere else. It is located in Hampton, Georgia, which is actually quite a bit away from the city of Atlanta. If you were to Google Map the distance, about 37 minutes south of the center of the city of Atlanta in Hampton, Georgia. It is a quad oval, D-shaped oval, whatever you want to call it in that regard, but a 1.5 mile oval that was eventually repaved a couple years ago and kind of turned into a super speedway type racetrack. It was originally built in 1958 when it broke ground and opened for the first race in 1960. So this track's 65 years old to this day. A couple more, 10 more years, and we'll have our platinum, diamond anniversary, which is what NASCAR just had themselves. Jason Huffman falling another lap down as he's fallen back. There's also a 2.5 mile road course layout on this track, which generally hasn't been featured by the NASCAR circuit, unlike its sister in Charlotte. Originally, this speedway was opened up as a true oval, similar to Milwaukee and New Hampshire, in that it had 4 regular corners instead of the 2 dog legs, or the D-shaped part of the oval. You can actually go back and find pictures of it with the red and white striping, which was common for most of the older tracks like Bristol, Darlington, and so on and so forth. Dustin Reinsettle has finally caught up to Eric Thaler here. And he's making the move right on the inside line, and off goes Dustin. So Eric Thaler able to lead about 12 laps before Dustin Reinsettle makes the pass. Nose to tail as they go into turn 3 and 4. All of a sudden, Eric Thaler keeping up with his opponent. Still 0.3 of a second slower that time by. Last lap was 32.292 for Dustin, 32.549 for Eric Thaler. We currently still have 6 cars on the lead lap out of the 9 cars that started today. Aaron Holroyd has moved up the most amount of positions by drivers today, with gaining 2 positions. He's currently 11.4 seconds back from Trevor McLaughlin, who's in 3rd. And Dustin Reinsettle lording over the league right now. Been able to lead the most laps here at Atlanta today. Dominated Milwaukee on Friday night. I don't see him on the road courses, so, I think we ought to put someone from the roadside and face him against Dustin and see what happens. See what happens with that kind of arrangement there. Dustin's certainly gaining some distance here as he's about ready to put James Levison down another lap. Reinsettle has now led 58 laps. Going to go work on his 59th lap. Eric Thaler just puts the lead back down under 1 second. How long will that last? I don't know. They also added a reconfiguration here. Speaking of Atlanta Motor Speedway, in 1997, they added a quarter-mile oval on the track's front stretch, so you see in the dogleg. This is the Legends Car Racing Oval, which, if you join iRacing, sometimes gets featured in the Street Stock series, which is not my favorite. Right there, you can see it. Kind of curves on in. You see the tire marks there as they go into that turn 1 and 2. If we look at the quad oval since the repave, Josh Berry actually holds the fastest lap time at 29.361. The fastest on the original quad oval layout from 1997 to 2021 is held by Billy Boat in a Dallara IR7 set in 1998 when it was the Indy Racing League. The road course did get set in a GTP, IMSA GTP, by Juan Manuel Fangio II, driving an Eagle Mach 3 in 1993. In the Grand Prix of Atlanta. I also drove the IMSA GT Championship here as well. Another racetrack in the area. Is Michelin's Road Atlanta, which is actually further on south from Atlanta. In Brazelton, Georgia. And that is a long way from my house. But from the center of Atlanta, Georgia, it is actually the opposite direction from Hampton. It is 53 miles to the northeast. Aaron Holroyd into the pits with Trevor McLaughlin again. We currently have 3 cars on the lead lap as we're going through another pit cycle now. Aaron Holroyd getting 4 tires on that Valhalla Racing Team's Manscaped Chevrolet. Norm Snyder will go ahead and take 2nd place now from Trevor McLaughlin. And he's not that far ahead of Dustin Reinsettle, who's currently got the rest of the field mostly a lap down. Trevor McLaughlin coming on out, currently 5th place behind Eric Thaler. Dustin Reinsettle currently on the back straightaway. So Eric Thaler and company got a little ways to go. James Lavison, who pit on lap 54, is still out there. Everybody else pit on lap 58. It's already come in. And he's still out there after 54 laps. After already pitting on lap 54. James, if you were in the booth right now, you'd be asking, or you'd be telling me you're sorry keeping me up. Apparently I'm getting old because I used to be able to stay up until midnight every night, and apparently my body can't do that anymore. I swear I even drank a coffee before this so that I would be awake enough. But just some interesting things to state here from practice times, since we're watching along with our leader here. You know, we'll go back to Norm here, who's just barely ahead of him. Give you guys something else to look at. We do have something going on back there, though. There's Ron Schaumer. It's right behind Aaron Holroyd. Let's go ahead and give you some action. Ron Schaumer staying away from the wall, but it's a little slippery there. He's currently 6th place. Aaron Holroyd flying on out. Dustin did set the fastest lap during practice time. Jason Huffman put down a 30.937. Nobody's been able to top the practice laps yet. Norm Snyder put down the 3rd fastest practice time, 30.993, and Trevor McLaughlin put down a 31. I think that was 0.05. I can't read my own handwriting, folks. That's a problem. That is a problem indeed. It's at this point in the broadcast that we usually do something. I don't know what we do in this point of the broadcast. But Ron Schaumer's coming into the pit lane. Ooh, lose some traction there. And there's Dustin Reinstuttle coming in. And something tells me that Norm Snyder is also going to be coming in to pit this time by. Dustin will most likely be out of the pit lane by the time Norm gets to him. But we'll see. It is sounding like, if you hear that engine, that he's probably thinking about it right now. Yep, he's coming on in. Coming on in, and that means Eric Thaler is in 3rd place. He's going to come down towards the front straightaway. Dustin Reinstuttle's out. He's out of pit lane. He's in turns 1 into turn 2. Eric Thaler flying on the outside. Does he get anywhere close? No! Not close enough. Not close enough, folks. Dustin will keep the lap. Keep the lead. After that pit cycle there, 88 laps. Down in the books. Less than 50 to go. Would you believe it? We're past halfway. Current track temperature is 87.8 degrees. Now is about the good time as any to swap it over to Norm Snyder again. Let's give Norm some screen time here. He's 6th place, chasing after James Levison in 5th place. Trevor McLaughlin is in 3rd, just getting passed by James Levison. McLaughlin, Thaler, and Dustin Reinstuttle are all on the lead lap. They're actually relatively close to each other, which is kind of new. Trevor, you're going to have to stay off the wall, though, bud. Now he's been passed by Norm Snyder. This is the closest action on the track. Now, while we're talking about closest action on the track here, I want to talk a little bit about our racing series, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, the Midwest Motorsports is not just the stock car series that you're watching right now on Sunday nights, but it's also Tuesdays and Friday nights as well. Headed up by a really wonderful and talented admin team, and brought to you live by a pretty good crew of commentators and me. No, I'd like to say I'm talented, but you know, somebody's got to fill this void. But there it is on the bottom of the screen. The start times for each series: 7:30 p.m. Tuesdays, 9:55 p.m. Fridays, and 8:25 on Sundays, all times Eastern. This league is free and always available, always recruiting. If you want to jump on in next week and challenge these guys, show them what for, beat the brakes off of Dustin Reinsettle, you are always welcome to do so. Sign on up at midwest-motorsports.com. Rulebook and everything else that's there, accessible for you. You can find all the iRacing information, the Discord, everything you need to know to get started to race against these guys today. Well, maybe not today, but on Friday for sure. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the rest of the stuff that we do here. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, the sign-up website. That dash is important. Antcaster normally broadcasts the Monday night cooldown lap podcast on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Currently, he's on a little bit of a break there. You might see some action here or there in the coming weeks. Who knows? You may even hear my voice again on Monday nights. Sorry, folks. But anyway, they usually break down what's going on in the motor racing world, what's going on in the sports lands, what's going on in the league, any new updates, any exciting releases like schedules for upcoming series, any other special events, and just good time for about an hour. So tune in on Tuesdays when Antcaster's back in the booth, or if anybody else happens to take up his stead in that. In the time being, that's his baby, aside from his kids. And then we actually just wrapped up the season, but Adam Sondag and James J bring you the Tuesday night Road Series action, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We are done for the season. I broadcast the Tuesday Night Race Championship last week, which we'd had 2 champions crowned, a new pro racer for next season, and the Pro Series champion. For those that don't know about that process, the AM Series winner, and I think a couple other drivers from the AM Series usually get bumped up to the Pro Series once they win the championship. Let us see. It was put on here. I broadcast cursed everybody. It was a great time. I switched over to Ryan Glover, and he went off the track. All right, where on earth? There we go. So our champions from the Road Series, Caden Richardson winning the Pro Series, and Ryan Glover joining him in the Pro Series, winning the AM division. Amateur division. There are no amateurs here. Oh man, I'm not 2 for 2. Anyway, that's our Road Series action that usually happens Tuesday nights. Well, moving on over to our other racing series that is active in its 10th season. Trevor McLaughlin and James J voice on the Friday Night Truck Series, which I compete in the number 40 Toyota Tundra, and don't do the greatest at. That we are going to be racing this Friday night at Daytona Motor Speedway. It's going to be a lot of fun and exciting times, and maybe Dustin might not win a Truck Series race. Or that he may just decide challenge accepted and win it anyway. But yeah, tune in Friday nights at 9:55 to see if any of us can beat Dustin in his Corey Heim arc. And then you can join us back here Sunday nights after all that fun action here, and join me and James J in the 7-Time studio at 8:25 p.m. Eastern. Next week we'll be at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Be interesting. Let's see how the guys handle that track. So if any of that sounds exciting to you, or if you're a Road Series driver just looking for something to do on a Sunday night and want an easy into the Oval Series, you want an easy into the Oval Series, come join us in the trucks on Daytona. Come on, I got a bet to win. No, I'm just kidding. But that'll be exciting. We hope to see you guys there during the weekend. And Season 11 for the Road Series. Guys are still working on it. Admin team's still looking into what they need to do to put out new rule set or new cars, whatever it is, the changes that they're going to be doing for the Road Series. Wow, Norm Schneider, you're currently 5th place, and you've been on the broadcast for a while, so broadcaster curse not working on you today. But you guys are, like I said, always welcome, free to join the league. Midwest-motorsports.com, Midwest-motorsports.com. I swear I am not paid to do this. The pause was for comedic effect. I gotta laugh at myself because, why not? Dustin Reinstedel has been leading steadily here. He's been leading 88 laps of the race. Let's do a little race recap here. We're currently on lap 104 of 134 with now 30 laps to go. As soon as Dustin changes the stripe here, we've had 4 lead changes. A pit cycle early on, threw some changes into the mix here, with some guys just losing it going on in. We had some tire blowouts affect some of our drivers. One of those drivers is currently sitting in 3rd place, less than 2 seconds behind his opponent. There he is, Trevor McLaughlin. If anybody's interested in sponsoring anybody currently racing right now, Trevor's a good pick. Not only does he need a sponsor on that car, apparently, but he has some great ideas. He's competitive, likes to drive that number 99. Now that I think about it, I gotta make sure he actually does have, yep, he still has the number 99. Fellow broadcaster, as Eric Thaler comes on into the pits. Don't know what his plan is. Oh no! He must have done something like miss his pit box the last time he came in, and that's probably what happened. Dustin Reinsettle coming on around, putting Eric Thaler another lap down. Aaron Holroyd coming on down the pits as well. Eric Thaler had a 24-second stop. That actually might have been damage as well as the tires. He's got tires, fuel out, 1063. He's trying something here. 27 to go. I think he took right sides only if it looked right there. Dustin Reinsel already passed the front stretch. Start-finish line as he's putting another lap on Aaron Holroyd. 93 laps led. Masterclass again by the number 11. Platinum Elites. Trevor McLaughlin actually runs that racing team with Michael Smia. Came into pit there on lap 107, so everybody's within that pit window. One last pit stop should do it for everybody. I don't think McLaughlin. I don't think Dustin Reinsettle is going to be able to pull this one out as far as making it all the way without fuel. So he is going to have to come back into the pit lane, but everybody's a lap down. Norm Snyder currently sitting in 2nd place. He's a lap down. Eric Thaler just coming off of turn 2. He's currently a lap down. So Dustin Reinstedel just in the command seat, as James likes to call it, the cat. Well, is it really the catbird seat? I guess it might be the catbird seat. Norm Snyder coming on into the pits with Robert Olevison back there as well. Good on you, Jason Huffman. You had a really rough time there at the beginning of the race, set you back quite a bit, but you're still in this. And you still have the purple lap over Dustin. So Dustin, not clean sweep over everything. But if anybody's going to set any fast times, it'll probably be Dustin after his last set of tires. As we take a look, you can see Trevor McLaughlin pops up on the screen. Eric Thaler, 12.76 seconds back. So even though he has no incentive to really need to continue to put the pedal down, he is still putting that pedal down. 22 laps to go in this race. And Dustin Reinstedel wants to make sure he's going to be the man with the checkered flag at the end of this one. Although James does like to remind me to not take the hats to victory lane just yet. It'll take one poor pit stop, one massive issue if he blows a tire maybe. There's going to be some big things happening to Dustin in order for anyone else to take a W here, unless Eric Thaler can pull something out here. Now Eric just went by. It's 30 seconds for one lap. A pit stop lasts less than that. How much less? Well, unless Dustin has damage, which he doesn't. He's already on his left sides. He's about ready to go out here. 14 seconds. Trevor McLaughlin, the closest there with Eric Thaler. Oh boy, what's going on? Here we go. There's second and third right now. They are charging. They are closing in. The gap is readjusting here on my timing screen. Trevor McLaughlin in second. This is the position he kind of wanted to be in, but not this far back. 21 to go. Dustin Reinstedel about 8 seconds in the lead. He's going by the start-finish line. Trevor McLaughlin now coming out of turn 4. He's going to cross 7.6 seconds. Trevor McLaughlin and Eric Thaler have to put all their effort into these, burn these tires if they want to catch up to Dustin and have a shot at the checkered flag and taking the home the win. 20 laps to go. Getting close to 19. There it is. 19 laps to go. These guys are still on turn 3 and 4. Ron Schamer getting into the picture here. And those lap times are not going to be able to do it. Dustin puts down a 31.136. Trevor and Eric putting down 31.61 and 31.71. Respectively. The only one putting down any other fast laps is Jason Huffman back there in the back at 31.19. Dustin Reinstedel sets his fastest lap time of the race at 30.743. And a 31.839 and 806. Reinstedel almost a 10-second lead. Second and third are within 0.8 of a second of each other, and the distance continues to grow steadily. Oh, Eric Thaler's actually making a charge here. 30.77, Trevor 32.16, Eric 31.95. I mean, Dustin does have a 6 to 7 lap advantage on tires, but is it really that much where we're already 2 seconds behind the leader? Dustin puts down a 31.26. At least in the same ballpark. 32.19, 32.04, still almost 1 whole second faster. That gap is now 12 seconds with 16 laps to go. Does anybody have anything for Dustin? Any wrenches? Anything? At this point, that's kind of all that you could see. He's clutching even. Somebody's clutching in the background. I heard it. Dustin Reinsettle passing the line. We got 14 to go? No. They've made 120 laps. Yeah, 14 to go. Well, thank you all for tuning in and watching so far today. It's been awesome having everybody here watching along. Another Dustin Reinsettle show, but some exciting bits in between. We had 3 cars battling for second place for the first stint of the race, which is pretty exciting, between Trevor Mack, Eric Thaler, and Jason Huffman. Aaron Holroyd got into the mix as well for a couple positions. We've had some pit strategies for different guys who are moving around here or there. Some guys got to lead laps, like Eric Thaler, who's now closing again on Trevor McLaughlin. Yeah, he clicked a button. Sorry, folks. And drive you all bananas by clicking the buttons again. But this is our closest battle on the track, and this one means something here. Second place. Now, one of these guys is going to talk to me in the booth. The other one is going to talk to me in the booth. Well, I guarantee there's definitely people out there that love clean racing. You definitely see that here. We had a couple cars lose it in the pit lane. Had some cars get a little loose coming out of turn 4. But for the most part, we are a relatively clean league. We have the numbers that allow for that to happen right now. But like I said, always open and free for people to join in, have some fun at MidwestMotorsports.com. League racing is so much better than racing in the official series. There are some requirements for the different leagues, and there are some iRacing caps, so pay attention to those when you're signing up. This battle has gotten down to the wire, though. 0.2 of a second with under 10 to go. 9 laps to go. Eric Thaler trying to put that nose on the bottom of Trevor McLaughlin. In there in turn 3 and 4. Back onto the front stretch here. Got to be a way I can change the camera buttons. I'll figure it out. In the meantime here, he's still trying. He is still trying. And he's got it from a great run on the back straightaway. Eric Thaler on the inside. 2 wide. Single file. Got himself right up there. Oh boy, getting a little loose there. There's 2 touch. Eric Thaler's got it. 7 to go. Thaler's had a bit of a faster car for a little while here. The lap times are starting to even out. Dustin Reinsettle throwing some 32.4s out there, throwing the rest of the field the bone. He's at 16:47 for his current lead, which is oddly not changing much. Eric puts down a 32.442 as he tries to set sail ahead of Trevor McLaughlin. Eric Thaler, Dustin Reinsettle finished first and second on Friday night at Milwaukee. Trevor McLaughlin got to interview them and talk to them in the booth as he was in my position on Friday night. 5 to go. Still on your closest battle as Dustin starts, or not Dustin, as Eric starts to pull away, almost a second ahead. Nobody else is really close on this track. 4 to go. Everybody chasing after him. Putt View's very own Dustin Reinsettle. Are those supposed to be flames on his vehicle? Oh wait, nope, that's just topographic. Waynesville Tire on the back lid. 2 to go this time by. 2 to go. Dustin Reinsettle continuing to have that lead. Now I know it. There it is, white flag. 4 cars still on the lead lap. And there's one within our sights. Aaron Holroyd, the 4th car on the lead lap. Side by side, Dustin will lap Aaron Holroyd to win the race. Eric Thaler still has a 2-second lead now for second place. He's getting ready to cross the line. And there he goes, right after Norm Snyder. And Dustin brings it home. Trevor Mack has finished in 3rd. Aaron Holroyd getting ready to come by. Actually, he got laps, so he did not have to make another lap. Our race is over. Go ahead and pull up the results of the race here. Dustin Reinsettle will be your winner, 17.3 seconds over second place Eric Thaler. Trevor McLaughlin finishes 3rd in his unsponsored Toyota Supra. Aaron Holroyd 4th place. Norm Snyder 5th. James Leveson 6th. Ron Schaumer will finish in 7th place. Robert Leveson will finish 8th. And Jason Huffman finishes in 9th place. We go ahead and start bringing up our
I guess we've only got 2, right?
competitors here. Oops. This is what happens when we try to bring everybody on up without muting them first. Something to that effect. Alright, I'll bring him on up here. And there we go. My voice may be recorded or monitored for general business purposes. All right, let's go ahead and bring everybody in here. Trevor McLaughlin, do you have a copy? Unmute you this way. I think you are.
Oh,
There
sorry.
we
I was
go.
I was muted on my end. Sorry about that.
I figured as much, but anyway. Well, how's it going, Trevor? It's great to have you back out here. What did you think about putting the wheels on Old Atlanta?
Uh, I mean, mainly it's the car. I haven't driven this thing in a couple of years, so it was really just a learning experience trying to figure out how to drive this car again.
I'm sure it's got to be tough here with all the bumps and everything. I was here in turns 2, turn 1 sometimes, and even turn 4 was pretty tricky. Were you having any issues with getting on pit lane?
No, that's probably the one thing I did all right this race. Wasn't good enough to make any ground on the 11 or the 15 really. So yeah, I just got to figure some things out for next week. I'm not really sure what Dustin's doing to save so much tire, but it was good to be back.
Maybe he's been hanging out with Ty Williams a little bit and learning from the Ty Williams school of fuel saving and tire saving there. Don't know, but he's been able to put down the fast laps and everything. But yeah, we're gonna be seeing you on Friday night at Daytona. You excited about that?
About broadcasting, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to have James back. So at least one more week, I think, without him. But yeah, we'll see how that one goes.
All right. Absolutely. Well, if anybody's interested in sponsoring this young man, he's a rising talent within the Midwest Motorsports group here. But at any rate, it was great to have you here, Trevor, and we'll see you again sometime. But you'll be
Okay,
hearing his voice on Friday.
thanks, Michael.
Thank you. All right, here we go. I'm gonna click all the buttons again. Make sure that's all works. Eric, we got a copy.
Yes, sir. How are you, Michael?
Doing pretty well. Doing pretty well here on Sunday. I don't know if I'm doing pretty well if I think it's Friday again. But yeah, you brought your number 15 Ford Mustang out here with a mission in mind. You led a couple of laps here and had had a different fuel strategy or pit strategy. Should you walk us through that there? Looked like you might have had an opportunity, but
Yeah, absolutely. I actually glitched out there probably lap 5 or 6, going into turn 3. My screen just froze. Jesus took the wheel. I crossed the start finish line. It come back, kind of hit nothing. So I don't know. That kind of set me back some. So I figured I'd probably need to do something different, and uh, took fuel in the first stop. I think it was somewhere around lap 20, and then around lap 48, went to pit for tires and come out in front of Dustin after that, after his cycle, and then I screwed up my cycle after that. I didn't click tires, so that made for a interesting stop. But other than that, I had a fast car. It wasn't terrible. I was able to keep pace with the time of tires that everybody else had on, um, but just didn't make it to the end there.
yeah, that was unfortunate. It would have been great to see somebody challenge Dustin here for this season so far, but there was one pit stop there. I think it was a 24-second one, your penultimate pit stop. Did you miss the box? Was there some extra damage that needed to be repaired?
Yeah, that's where I stopped, and I had fuel checked, and it filled up, and I hit tires about halfway through that fuel
Ah,
stop. So I proceeded to put tires on after that. So I think it probably would have been worse if I would have went back out there on that old set of tires, because I did wear those out pretty good. So it did kind of work out there at the end with the P2.
absolutely. Well, great finish for you. Would have been. I'm sure you would have Hope for having first there, but fast car P2, Eric Thaler.
Yeah, thanks, Michael.
Thank you. All right, Dustin, we got a copy.
I got you loud and clear.
Congratulations on another win here. What is that? That is 7 wins to start season 10 on both series on the oval.
Yeah, something like that, I think.
You got 3 of 4 here in the stock car series and all 4 in the truck series.
It's been a good start so far. I was actually talking about this in the admin chat though. Most of them have been other people messing up during these long green flag runs. So just trying not to mess up. I was really slow on pit entry today, but it was kind of treacherous in this car. So once I got just a little bit of a gap, I just tried to keep that in mind that I could be just a little slow and not give up a whole lot.
Absolutely, and that's the key thing that comes out of this is he is extremely fast, put down crazy fast lap times all race long, but you got to be consistent too. And Dustin's been able to put that out here for the past 6 weeks or so of both of our oval racing series, with minimizing all those mistakes. Even if he runs a little wide here or there, he's able to correct it, which is great. You want to talk about putt view or anything else? It was pretty interesting paint scheme on the car today.
Nah, we use the PutView as a yardage book company that our golf team uses. So I'm an affiliate with them. But I mean, like other affiliate things, I don't make any money off of it really. But if anybody ever needed any yardage books for golf, I got you covered. But no, we use them at every tournament, so it tells us like the elevation changes, the slope in the greens, which way it's breaking, stuff like that.
Well, there you go, new thing to know here. And you can see that on his car with the topography map there. That would definitely make sense that it shows all that for you. You've got the truck series going to be at Daytona next week, North Wilkesboro here in the stock car series. Which one are you most interested in seeing, and got any interesting strategies to talk about for either of those?
Daytona is going to be Daytona. I told Trevor in the Friday broadcast I have absolutely zero expectation ever to win a super speedway race, but after winning a couple times in a row on the oval side, I will more than happy push somebody to win because I know I'm not going to get pushed. So I finished second a lot in super speedway races, which is fine with me. You can have a really bad day in super speedway sometimes. So I'll take just a top 5 if I can get it there, and then North Wilkesboro is interesting with the new layout. It still has that old, like we've ran a couple races. Actually, my first Xfinity win in Midwest Motorsports was at North Wilkesboro, and I won because I shorted the last pit stop, and nobody else did, so they all had to pit, and I didn't. Um, or I guess I went long. I guess. So that's how I won my first race on a gamble, and it was on the old layout. So the new layout's it feels a lot tighter, just because there's more, their stands are higher. I guess it feels more like blocked in. So I'm gonna have to practice there for sure because I tried a couple laps when they first released it, and it just didn't feel like the old North Wilkesboro. But I'm usually not that good on short tracks that don't have a lot of banking. So we'll see. I'd say that will be one I'll be trying to chase somebody on for sure.
All right. Well, we look forward to Friday night, seeing everybody at Daytona, see what happens and all that mayhem
I got
there.
money on Jason Phillips.
Yeah, he's got that DEI paint scheme, and they've always been pretty dominant there at the super speedways, for sure. All right. Well, thank you for coming out here, Dustin, and thank you for everything all you admin do, and
Thank you,
everybody
Mike.
else out here.
And like Trevor said, can't wait to have James back too. But I appreciate you guys hanging out by yourself and doing this so the league can get some broadcasts.
There you go. Dustin Ransell, everybody. All righty, folks. Well, that'll be the end of the broadcast here for us at Midwest Motorsports. My name is Michael Harris Jr. You can catch me on Friday nights here as we do the truck series. Sounds like we got one more week for James J, which will be exciting to have him back here in the broadcast booth. I know he's itching to get back up here and join us. Dustin Reinsfeld taking home his 3rd win of the season out of the 4 races. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in and watching. It's been great out here with everybody. Everybody's been fantastic, all the fans and everybody in the stands. And as James J likes to say, stay in your lane.